welcome. I'm here again in Florida with my good friend, Dr. Robert Morse. Hi. And today we're going to talk about this subject of detoxification, which is the great baby and heart of Dr. Morse, and he is the grandmaster of the subject, I would say. So I was thinking there is so much talk about detoxification and what it is and what it does, and many people think it is a little thing that you do for a couple of weeks, or it's something that you eat or drink that is doing the detoxification. And I wanted Dr. Morse to get the opportunity to talk about the simplicity here, to talk about what detox really is. We put this label on this, but it really is the body doing its thing, cleansing itself.
It is.
Yeah.
You hit it right on the head, Hilde. Detoxification isn't something that you're doing. You're giving the body the tools to clean and repair itself.
Yeah.
And that's totally what it is. Nature does the same thing. If nature needs to fast you, it will. It'll take your desire for food completely away from you. You see that in advanced cases. Mm-hmm. You see it in the animal kingdom. Mm-hmm. When they get sick, they withdraw from consumption of food and let the body heal itself.
Yeah.
And it's just energy management with the body. We have time management in the mind areas and stuff. The body has energy management. And if you think you can go out and work hard and eat all the acid-forming foods and get healthy out of that, or have the body fix itself out of that, the typical diets that man is consuming right now puts the body in a defensive mode. So your body's trying to deal with the chemistry most people are putting in, let alone try to clean itself and fix itself. Mm-hmm. And the foods are so cationic, so acidic that they agglomerate. They create agglomulation, coagulation. In other words, everything gets hard and stiff, just like you know for sure.
Yeah.
Everything just hardens like a rock.
So once you eat the food that are not made for man, you are standing in the way of detoxification. Totally. Because you are supposed to detox every day.
Totally.
Just from cellular waste.
Totally.
Not from the food you eat, but from cellular waste.
Cellular waste.
You need to clean everything. If you have a car, the motor, you need to clean it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, think about this. Every day you have to eat in the kitchen. You have your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner, but then you have to go to the bathroom. It's a natural process. You don't think anything about it. And that's what your body does.
Yeah.
But the bathroom is just what you said, at the cellular level.
Yeah.
And how many cells do we have? 100 trillion or more?
I hear.
It's a lot.
That's what you tell us.
It's a lot of poo-poo.
Yeah, I know. So
it's a lot of cell poo-poo.
Yeah.
It's got to get out of the body. People don't think about that. No one ever told them that the body has a sewer system in it.
So to go on a detoxification program is really just stopping putting more waste in so that the body can do what it needs to do to clean itself.
Well, you know, the funny part about this is that all you have to do is start eating the diet your body's designed to eat. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And your body immediately starts to clean and repair itself. And you can see from that position of eating a fruit diet, since we're frugivores, we're islander species, what that does from an omnivorous meat, grain, bean, that type of diet, the tremendous difference. One will distort you, make you hard as a rock, as you know, and one will free you from that.
Yeah.
And it's just the types of chemistry you're ingesting.
So why is it so hard for us to see what we're made to eat? We can look at our teeth, we can look at our intestines.
Yeah, it's emotions, I think. You know, it's our emotional and our I don't know. Man is kind of living like an ostrich, in my opinion. Man, the human consciousness is slow to grow.
Yeah.
And it's just so in cycles. And then once everybody experiences this, trying to develop new habits, and the old habits just keep coming in. So think of it as a record player with all the phonographic records that are coming back now with all the grooves in it. That's how the mind is. And once you set your habits, you're stuck.
Yeah.
And it takes a strong, self-disciplined person to rise above the mind and start a new habit.
And once you do that, you can't go back.
That's it. Well, you start a new habit.
Because you see that it is also a destructive habit.
Oh, yeah.
And
well,
everything else that keeps, pulling it is kind of...
It does, but there are some people that, because of fungus problems in their body and stuff, parasitic
That's what
things,
I mean.
you see what I'm talking?
Yeah,
they pull back to the nasty food.
Yeah.
And they don't know any better. And, of course, that's their comfort food.
Yeah.
And so they're pulled back to there. They don't always feel good. Like a lot of people left for the paleo diet. They're coming back now.
Yeah.
If you're in pain, or you're in where you were, or you have what they call cancers, you don't want to eat acid diets. That just makes it grow more. That acidifies you more, creates more problems.
Yeah, and when we talk about acidic diets, we talk about high protein diets.
High protein diets.
Of course, aside from everything processed and...
Well, we're going to put up this, the milk chemistry of human milk, monkey milk, goat milk, cow milk, almond, soy. We have the chemistry all laid out in these. We just want to put them up on the web for you to see them. But this chemistry shows you how little protein human mother's milk has.
Isn't that interesting?
It has nil next to none.
I know.
And get this, has nil next to none minerals.
Yes. That's even more
Isn't that
interesting.
shocking?
How is that for the green movement?
Exactly. How is that for the green movement?
Yes.
So when you talk about fruits and the power and the energetics, as you mentioned to me earlier, it's about the energy of
it is.
chemistry.
It
Absolutely. Is. Chemistry is just forming from the energy of it.
Because we need to we try to understand chemistry because we can rip it apart and try to put it back together. You know, little boys, little
boys playing.
Yeah, want to take it apart and put it back together. But what about the energetic side?
Well,
it's a trust issue. It's trust between us and the Creator.
Well, it is. But you also have to understand creation a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, in our classes, we showed you how creation is kind of laid out that way. So you have to understand, everybody always heard the mind over matter. So we know that the mind controls everything in creation. That is your creative instrument in creation. You want something, you have to first image it.
Yeah.
Then you use your emotions to drive that image. How bad do you want what you're imaging?
Yes.
I want this new car. How bad do you want it? That's your emotional body pushing you.
Yes.
Then you have to take your physical body, go work for the money, and go buy it.
You have to take action.
You have to take action.
And that's what's missing in a lot of this. Because some people think you can sit down and meditate and get into that zone and visualize everything well and then just have a pizza and a cigarette while doing it.
Exactly.
Action needs to be present.
Now, you hit on
That's moving energy.
You hit on a big one right there.
Right there.
You hit on a big one.
Because there are a lot of spiritual people that wants to do this and that is evolving, but they are missing the point where the physical needs action.
Yeah, totally. Well, you know, when you develop yourself more in awareness, your body seems to disappear from you, and you'll see that you're all raw, and you pretty soon you don't realize you have a body. As you get the pain and all the acids out of your body, you'll realize that you don't have a body, and you're operating up here like you're a ball of light, and that's just what you're becoming because you're consuming what you just said. You're consuming energy at the highest level that foods can give you.
Yes. And can you imagine the difference? I walk in the woods every day, picking the fresh dandelions, the plantains, the stinging nettles. You only need a few leaves of that compared to a whole bowl of all that green that people keep telling you need to have. And that's because there's nothing in it, in that energy sense. You can rip it apart for the amino acids, I'm sure. But the energy you get from the woods, you're eating what you're supposed to eat.
Exactly. And if you notice, all animals, I think, pick on the herbs. Even the primates, all animals pick on the herbs. So there is validity to some extent on vegetable matter in the form of botanicals. Outside of that, vegetable matter becomes exceedingly difficult for the human to digest because we're so different than herbivores. Totally different.
Right.
And there's a green movement out there, and it should be a fruit movement.
Yes. And you can look at me. I mean, I was on the green movement for years. You need to have a high-fat diet to live on greens because you just can't get your calories from lettuce. I've been 3.5 years on fruits. I'm not missing anything.
And look at your body. I mean, it's coming back, and it takes a while to come back from a rock. It does, and we've talked a lot about that, you know. And that's the beauty of this. And I think people are just so, because of the medical community, people feel like they don't have any hope. Diseases are rampant, and you have no control over them. And yet, medical doctor just made it up. Here's a good example. What does the word cancer mean in the medical world? It means damaged cells.
Yes.
So you have damaged cells, and they tell you have cancer. Everyone has damaged cells. So all cancer is damaged cells. But when someone mentions cancer, people freak. If I said you had some damaged cells in your body, you wouldn't freak.
No.
But if I say you have cancer, you now, a death sentence. You're starting to write your...
Because you have a disease.
Exactly.
And that's another thing, I think, when we talked about the detoxification and what it is, people are led to this time misconsumption because we are led by the medical doctors to think that you fix the problem with a pill, you take something and you're better overnight. So we have lost the concept of time in this and what the body needs to do.
Sure.
And even people go on a detoxification, they come to me and they said, I've been doing this for 2 weeks, it doesn't work. I must be doing something wrong. I still have a headache and it's been 2 weeks. And I'm like, let's talk after 2 to 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, we need to spread the word that the body is doing this and it needs time.
It does.
Because there's no pill.
There isn't. You know, the thing is, some people take more time than others.
Yeah.
And you're coming,
But if you're advanced, I'm talking chronic advanced cases.
Exactly.
You need time.
Well, you definitely need to. Think about this. There is the acute.
Yep.
There's the subacute. There's the chronic. And there's what we call the degenerative. What that means is, years ago, most people eating high-protein diets, drinking their milks and stuff, they created acute and subacute problems. Years and years ago, even medical doctors use herbs and things like that. We found an old medical doctor's handbag full of herbs.
Oh, cool.
And instructions which herbs to use for which complaint.
Yeah.
So medical doctors were using botanicals way before pharmaceuticals. Go, oh, look, we can make a lot of money here. So this was all being done the way it should have been done years and years ago, but they were treating symptoms. And the problem with treating a symptom, of course, is that you're not addressing the cause.
Yes,
but
and you're suppressing it.
You're suppressing it. So pharmaceuticals were great at suppressing acute and subacute problems. That's if you drink a milkshake, you get a sore throat from the mucus from it. That's an acute problem. Take a little antibiotic, suppress that, and you're good.
For now.
What happened to the mucus that were created from that milk, and you just locked it deeper into your throat.
That's why people have this same problem coming again
and
again.
again.
I have a UTI
exactly.
problem. I have a sinus problem. I have an ammonia problem. Why do you think you do that? Because you take the antibiotics, suppress it back into the body, and it's just waiting. The body's just waiting for a chance to get it out.
People need to get that. People need to get.
It just wants to get it out. It wants to get well.
Well, that's why detoxification. That's it.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to feel this. I need to go to work.
Exactly.
Right?
That's a point.
Yeah.
Give me something to hide the symptom for now.
I'll deal with it later. I need to go to work. I need to live my life.
Exactly.
I'll deal with my body another time. I need to life.
And that's the worst thing you can do, because what you suppress today is your nightmare from hell tomorrow.
Yeah.
Especially your tumors.
Yeah.
So you just have to realize what things really are. Instead of using the names and the fear tactics and things of medicals and diseases, stop and think, as we laid it out here, exactly how things are.
And that's where this simplicity of detoxification comes in, right? Because you're not doing any mumbo jumbo or taking anything to do. So detoxification is it's just stopping what you're doing that's hurting you. And that what we do with the herbs is we are strengthening and helping the weak organs that are not up to date to be able to do that cleansing or detoxification. Because that's mostly what we're concerned with, are the elimination organs.
Yeah, the eliminative organs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
and
kidding.
what we're doing with the herbs is just strengthening them to be able to do their job,
Absolutely.
right?
Totally.
So
actually, just what you said is that the diets man has been eating has actually, I won't use the word destroyed, but has greatly broken down the kidneys and the GI tract. Look at most people are having either kidney problems or GI tract problems. Most surgeries, most people are into dialysis, their kidneys are failing, GI tract problems are all over the friggin' place. And these are the two eliminative organs, and what people don't realize is your kidneys are by far the extreme important things, and that is tied to the skin. There's 3 kidneys in your body, some people a little more, but there's 3 kidneys, the skin and your right and left kidney.
Yes.
And each one of those are vital eliminative organs for all the sewage inside the body. You know what I think the real problem was? No one told you had a sewer system in your body.
Yeah, nobody told you the importance of the kidneys.
Exactly.
I talk to people that have no kidney problems, and then you talk to them and, oh, I have kidney stones, or I have problems with my lower back.
I have UTI, lower back.
Yeah,
absolutely. Interstitial, whatever.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and nobody teaches you that.
Nobody,
because people are so into the blood. There's been a lot about the blood, and nutrition. Get the nutrition in, nutrition in.
That's man's. I think man's hyper focused on that, don't you?
And we're swimming this way.
Exactly. We're
more and more.
I knew a guy that just snapped open a suitcase and there's all his supplements, and that was his food for the day.
Yes.
And it's like, excuse me,
yeah.
You know what you said. You missed the energetics, the living, the breathing, the consciousness of the plant. Because what you said, chemistry is at one level of interaction.
Yeah.
How about the consciousness of the plant?
Yes.
Why is that plant there? What's the awareness of that plant?
What is the awareness?
Exactly. And
you're feeding yourself the awareness, and you're doing the same thing with the dead animals and the milk. You're feeding yourself that awareness.
Totally. Now, what people don't realize is that awareness, that's energy, goes and connects with the energy of the cells. There's a much higher thing going on here. Chemistry is the last thing going on in creation.
Yeah.
What forms it?
Yeah.
And that's getting back to the original creator, the consciousness, and how consciousness manifests form.
Yes.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
And people just need to learn this simple stuff.
And there's a lot of things you can do except for just eating fruits and taking herbs. Just taking your shoes off, walking barefoot on the beach or in the woods, hugging a tree, just starting like that, connecting. Find out which flowers or which plants around you where you live is edible and eat some of it raw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to eat dandelion green or flowers, daisies.
I love that. Yes.
Eat daisy, you love me that thing, and eat the daisies.
And then eat them.
You just naturally are like this when you're
Children
living.
do that. Children do that.
Yeah, they do that, and that's what we were farmers, so we had plenty of flowers and all kinds of things. And sassafras, we always ate sassafras leaves. Oh, this is good, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But city folk lose that interaction of.
And I think genetics also, because you pass it down genetically, and then you kind of obstruct the conscious by weakening the cells. You obstruct the pituitary, the pineal, everything. So that keeps us.
I think one has to understand the lymphatic system to understand detoxification. I think you have to understand what the lymphatic system is. And of course, by our videos that they've just found the lymphatic system in the brain, the University of Virginia.
Lymphatic?
No, there's another one. No, that's another one.
That's another one on top of that.
That's another one, the glymphatic.
Yes.
The glymphatic she found about, I think, 4 or 5 years ago.
Probably.
That's another lymph system in the brain.
Yeah.
But another researcher, a male at the University of Virginia, found the actual lymph system of the brain. And it followed the arteries. Piggybacked.
But of course it did.
Piggybacked.
Of course it did. You knew this.
We all know that, but they haven't found the one at the base of the spine. And there's another big one at the base of the spine that takes everything to the kidneys. And so they just have to start paying more attention to the lymph system.
Yeah.
But there's so much into blood, and the blood is the least of man's problems. And it's like nutrition more. And you see us fighting even over YouTube on that sort of thing.
And that's what it was the next thing. Yeah.
And whether vegetables are better than fruit and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, you're using the intellectual mind to try and figure this out when all you have to do is observe the different species and the food these species eats without perversion. You have to say man is very perverted, because he has migrated out of his tropical environment and has colonized this planet. But in doing that, he doesn't have the same food source that is required because he's into arid countries, he's into heavy cold climates and stuff like this.
So he's had to compensate.
You had to compensate, but compensating to that meant more protein.
So we're talking survival, not thrival.
Exactly.
And that's where we went wrong. We went into survival mode instead of thriving.
Exactly.
And
now we have to learn how to enjoy these climates, but how do we eat? How do we eat and stay well? And that means greenhouses or something. That means large greenhouses, huge. Someone sent me a picture of these pyramid greenhouses, and they were impressive as hell. So that's what we need all around the planet. But this planet has to first understand its love for each other. I mean, everybody's still killing each other in certain parts of the world.
Each person has to love itself.
Exactly.
Or himself or herself. You cannot hurt something that you love.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think man has to get to the fact that we're all brothers and sisters, that we all come from the same source.
We love each other.
Exactly. And we come from the same source, and we're here to help each other, have fun, and be healthy, and enjoy the planet. Because you're only on here for a few years, and then you're off on some other journey.
Yeah.
So why not have fun while you're doing this? But on this planet, everything is so hard. so stressful. And there's so much narcissistic elitists out there that think they know better for everybody. And it's all about too much academics. If you think you know too much, you're better than another person. And some of those people actually know less.
That's great obstruction.
Great obstruction.
A great intellect can be a great obstruction.
The mind, you hit it right on the head, Hilde. The mind is probably your greatest obstruction to consciousness.
Standing in the way of your wisdom can be your knowledge.
Standing in the way of your awareness.
Yeah.
The mind's a completely conditioned instrument.
And we see it now what's happening with, without going too much into that, but the restriction that's happening or being laid upon the world on supplements.
Oh, yeah.
For people to get. We were talking about that. I said that could actually be a freedom. Because we're talking isolates. We're talking chemistry, isolated chemistry, made in laboratories. And we don't want that.
That's why I could care less about that side of it. Because all these isolates, and you can regulate them all you want.
What is the body doing with that? If you put in an isolate, what do we really know about that? We can just imagine the imbalances and what it's doing.
That's it.
But we can't even know because we're talking, again, energetics.
Right.
We're talking chemistry, but then we're talking energetics.
And even on the subtle levels of what they call methylation, which is how the DNA and chromosomes are nurtured and stuff. And so all these processes like that are disturbed.
Yes.
And so then it disturbs the genetic trunks. It just disturbs everything. And that's just what's happened.
And people are stuck in the sense that there is a lack in the body or a hole that needs to be filled. Like I lack vitamin B something, and I need to fill that. So we're not taught to look at the reason that we come out like that. So maybe there is some malabsorption there. Obviously there is. So we're not going to the cause.
See, you're hitting it right on the head now. Because until you fix, and we said this before, until you fix digestion, absorption, right, and utilization, meaning that you need a hormone or steroid to utilize these chemistries. Unless those things are all working, you cannot think you're deficient in anything. No. And I come to naturopath, of course, and I come out of the world of deficiencies. Naturopaths see the world as deficient nutritionally.
Yeah. And then everybody needs to take a supplement also because the soil and you can't get it from food.
I'll say this. You only pray that was all it is.
Yeah.
You just only hope that's all it is because, to be honest with you, that is nothing. Don't you wish you could just eat an apple and be healthy the rest of your life from that? It's a lot more. We have to go back and clean out all the residues of this dirty fuel we've been burning and all the weaknesses that we promoted and our families promoted behind us in the genetic trees. We've got to go in and fix all this stuff. If you don't, the kids are dying like right and left. How many young kids do we have on YouTube in the teens? Young teens, 13, 14, 15. These kids are waking up going, I got to get well. I've been suffering all my life. Here was a young man that wrote me at 15 years old, suffered all his life.
They're born with cancer.
Please.
They're born with asthma.
Exactly.
They're sick.
Exactly. Because why? So if you're born with these, not diseases, what's going on here? And so you have to look at the body from a cellular and a chemical viewpoint. And I want to tie that back to what you said earlier, because a lot of the spiritual people get so much into consciousness, they think they can just wish or know their body well. I disagree with that.
Law of attraction.
I've been in the spiritual world my whole life, and I can tell you that you can think positive all you want, but you're still missing consciousness, and you're still missing the laws of the realm your physical body's on. You're not on this realm; your body is.
You need to walk your talk. You need to do also. It's very popular to say we're human beings, not doings, and that. Yeah. We are here in a physical body, and that's a big misconception.
Yeah, we're all spiritual beings traveling around in creation, experiencing this and that, and that's how God's doing it. Everybody is part of that big consciousness called God. So everything is just experiencing itself.
Yeah.
But there's a point when you have to wake up from that. You have to start to wake up and go, oh, look, I was just playing in the field. It's time to go home, or it's time to develop myself into greater things. I've been playing in the field of dreams. Now it's time to get some reality going.
Yes. And we are part of nature.
Yeah. Well, the body is,
we have a physical body. Right. So the body is a part of nature.
Oh, you can't separate it. Yeah. I think that's man's problem. Too much concrete, blacktop.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
You
true.
can't separate,
Cars.
exactly.
Yeah.
You can't separate the
Skyscrapers.
human body from nature. But you also have to understand what level this human body needs in nature for chemistry. And it's an insult to me, it's an insult to think that we as higher level expressions need dead animal foods, their milks. We have to cook our foods and destroy our foods before we eat it. Dead grains, dead beans. We all think those are all healthy. And somehow comes some semblance of joy out of all that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But the proof is in the pudding.
It's in the pudding.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen it for yourself. You see it in so many cases.
And we see the other side.
We see the other side,
Yeah.
too.
We see where we're going. So to close this off a little bit about the detoxification, the simplicity, that just stopping what's hurting you. That's all detoxification is in the sense of the doing. In the sense of what the body's doing, to understanding that is just doing its job of elimination.
Yeah, I think
Right?
if you looked at it simplistically, you could say that it is simply the body cleaning itself and repairing itself with the chemistry that does both of those things.
Yeah.
And when you're using isolates, there's no repair to the human body because this is a holistic move.
And the body's doing the job. Not anything that you put in. You can't put in anything that is doing that job. It is the body that's doing it.
It is, totally.
Because it is doing it while you're just water fasting
it shows
also.
then there's awareness there, right? There's consciousness there. And I think man has dreamed that God is some being hanging in the sky and with a big beard, and when he comes down, that sort of thing. And he, of course, eliminates the female side. So there's so much man is injected in the educational side and the spiritual side of this planet that actually has no truth to it at all. And so, but it's just the way the humans have developed, and they just seem to be hanging at a certain level. I mean, electronically and everything else, look at what we've done. Matter of fact, we've reached a point electronically where now we're backing up a little bit. You notice that? These cell phones like this, and now the businessmen want to go back to the flip ones like I've got because they're real simple. So I think you reach a saturation, just like an ionization. You reach a saturation, and then you have to back up a little bit.
Because you see, it's destructive.
It is. Well, that's it. It's destructive when everything else hasn't moved with it. See, man is not moving his health and the world with it. He's moving his narcissistic elitist viewpoint with it. He's like, no.
But still, it's the part of the awakening now, because without the internet, where would we be?
Well, that is the awakening part.
Yeah, and then it's also showing us that it's destructing.
But it is. And you
so
can
it's
see,
like this two-sided sword,
It is. It is a two-sided sword. And you're seeing more control of the internet and more wanting to control the internet by things. And then you see people that are not ethical in their beingness, so they use it for all kinds of things. And I just think that man has lost his, or if he ever had it, ethics and love for each other and things like that. And I think that diet has affected man so greatly. And this is a way to try this for yourself. Try about 4 months on raw foods. That's fruits, berries, melons, and a salad a day, let's say. And then go back to and see how it changes your persona.
Yes.
And then go back to an omnivorous meat eating, grains and things like that, and see how it changes your persona. See how your anger starts picking up, your opinions and your judgmental attitudes of others start picking up. It's amazing to see the type of foods and how it affects a person's psychic.
And isn't that interesting how the feelings are connected to our organs and our whole being? Because then you're touching something that I like. Like the anger has a seat in the liver, and they say that the fear has in the kidneys. So then how energetic is this really? And you can't separate it. That's why when people go on detoxification program, they also have emotional releases, and you have to be ready for that. It's not just the physical part; it's the emotional part.
What about the mental part?
Those
are the ones that break away because they want to. I just add some digestive enzymes. That's all I need. Or I'll just add some probiotics. Or I'll just go over here and try this diet. Or I'll go to ketogenic. I'll do this and this and this. In other words, your mind is your worst enemy. Your mind is disturbing your peace and your sanity, and so you're not looking and understanding. You're jumping. Your mind is controlling your journey. Can't do that. You got to stop, get beyond your mind, and start looking at truth a little more, and it'll make itself known.
Because we have the urge to understand. Our brain is eager to understand.
Well,
and there are things here you can't understand. You can perceive it, you can feel it, and you can know it.
Well,
But you might not be able to understand it with your brain, with your mental brain.
Yeah, only consciousness, I think.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point. I think only consciousness can understand.
Yeah.
Because that's the awareness of everyone.
Yeah.
Is you, consciousness. The mind is just thought processes.
I know, and I'm not even sure that understand is the right word for consciousness.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
consciousness doesn't understand, it just knows.
It knows, but understand knows. Yeah, I think you're right. Pretty good on there. Murder semantics, but the big issue is that the mind is just a body like the physical body, but it works with thought forms, and consciousness turns on the mind. In other words, you're the switch. Yes. Your awareness is the switch, and your awareness can be anywhere you want it. Your perspective. You can turn things on and off by your awareness. Yeah. You look over here, you turn the lights on in the bedroom. You move over here, you turn the lights off in that room, and now they're on in this room. Yeah. And that's the same way in your experiences. There's a lot of heavens, and your lights come on in this world, then it come off, and it comes on into another world. It comes on into another world. And that's all it is. That's you. That's consciousness. Yes. These bodies are just instruments of expression that we can use. You want to get on the highway and go real fast, you get in a vehicle. If you want to be in the physical world, you have to have a vehicle. Yes. Consciousness can't be here without a vehicle of the same nature, the same makeup, electrically and chemically, of this plane, but on the other planes, electrical. They're all mostly energetic planes.
Like, and we're in movement. We need that momentum. We need the action. We need to take action.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah. But the time, I think we should just close it with this perspective of time, because people ask me, how long does it take to detox?
Wow.
Right.
You know, I personally think like you do, that detoxification is a part of life.
Yes.
And it's something you always think about. You might not always eat at the level that will keep your body clean. To expect people live on fruits and berries and melons for their life is unreasonable. Yeah. So you when you get off of that, you feel it.
So it might not be that unreasonable once you get clean. Right. Because then you might actually just want to stay there.
You know, where our hope is with that on this planet is the babies. You parents that are feeding your babies raw foods are creating the future of this planet, and you're the blessed ones. Because these babies will not have the fight we have with the mind and emotions over foods, because you've already got them set in raw food eating. And these are the future of this planet.
But they will need to go through a period of cleaning themselves up. They are born with weak bodies.
This is totally. But if parents start feeding raw, those weaknesses regenerate right out of them as they're growing, and you wouldn't even notice it. You can
and the next generation.
Where could man be? Yes. You see what you guys are doing to yourselves. Can you imagine a world where it's, in this physical level, where it's all raw, when your foods are harmonious from birth and has been all the way back?
There would be no war.
Well, you see that on other planets. I mean, where do you see what's coming? You'll see the levels out there that are
Once
more in
man
harmony
loves
with that.
themselves, there can be no war.
Exactly. We're one of the more disjointed levels here. Yeah. And it's just so disharmony. But I think that, you have so many of us now working to try to bring this harmony in, but then you still have those negative forces. Fight and change.
Yeah. But everybody can start with themselves. Yeah. That's what's so beautiful about this.
You have to.
For each person that cleans themselves up and raises their awareness, you help the world.
You have to. You have to. Each one of
each one is helping the world. Each one.
Absolutely. 11-11.
One by one.
A true 11-11.
Yeah.
We stand as alone as individuals, but together as one.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so
much. So
much.
we'll talk another time.
Yep. Love you guys.
Bye.